Hello, everyone.
Hello, if you're in the chat, you might not be in the chat.
Hi. I don't...
Oh, sorry, Michelle. Surprise!
At least Michelle wasn't
Happy
doing
New
anything
Year.
unsavory while
Yeah.
No,
it
I am
popped
going
up.
to keep eating this biscuit, though.
Yeah, that's fair.
Go for it.
I mean, why not?
Did you go to Popeyes?
Mm-hmm.
Well, look at that. Wow, did you call it just based on, like, was that a gut instinct you just had?
It was, but then his cup also looked like Popeyes.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
you know.
That's very fair. Hello, everybody. Welcome
Hello.
to 2022, which I will continue to have to remember for the next 4 weeks.
It's going to be like 6 months for me.
Well, at least we're
Yeah.
not writing anything down on paper. So, like,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
you know, if you have to put the date, it's not like school where you had to put the date on
God,
stuff.
I had to write a check the other day for the first time in like over 2 years, I think. And that was an
Mhm.
excruciating process because
Sheesh.
our apartment complex got bought
Mhm.
by new landlords. New landlord, who dis, literally.
Literally.
And their portal has been broken for like what, over a month?
Yes.
Oh, no.
Yes.
Yeah, so Charlie was like, I hate that this money just has to sit in this account. Can you please find a checkbook or obtain a checkbook and go walk it over there? So I finally did. But yeah, having to write down the date, I'm like, I just
was wild.
I deeply hate checks anyway.
It's a very antiquated way.
Yeah.
Have you ever been in line behind somebody at the store paying with the check? Like, no, that's not it. And also,
my
like,
mom
Yeah.
was that person.
they gotta
paying
feed
with
it.
the
They
check.
gotta feed it. The cashier has to feed it through the little machine that like beeps. Like
Yeah.
it's like a old timey time card sound. Like it beeps it through. It's weird. I don't know.
Yeah, what are you doing?
I don't know.
Stop that.
Stop inconveniencing me and everyone else by using checks. There
Get
you
a
go.
debit card. Duh.
No, the money's not secure that way, clearly. Check reader machines are evil.
Thanks,
Hello.
Justin.
Thank you.
Hello.
Justin.
Also, that's not a first time chat. That's a lie.
Well,
Might be a new account. I'm not going to judge.
no, we're
No,
not.
no, I just don't trust Twitch.
Mm.
You know what? Good policy. Good policy.
Don't trust twitch.tv or .com. Don't trust check reader machines. We got ramen and bubble tea
For
or
dinner.
bubble-less tea in Charlie's case.
I don't eat the bubbles anymore because the last time I got them, they were too gooey. They were basically everything I never wanted in bubbles. I was fine
You
with
got
them.
the wrong kind of bubbles,
No.
didn't you?
I think they just sat for too long. It was like it's like a
Oh.
roll the dice situation, and I rolled the dice poorly that one
Snake
time.
eyes.
Yeah, and I got like the exact situation I thought that bubbles were the entire time, which was little slimy balls in your drink, and I said I don't want that.
I swear, at some point you got the wrong kind of bubbles in
Nothing
your-
will ever be as terrible as drinking that.
Oh god, they were out of our peach sake that we like to drink at the sushi restaurant that we used to go to when Charlie was still living with their parents. So it's not around here, thankfully. But they're like, we're out of the peach sake, but we have this other like
jelly sake.
jelly sake.
It's really popular right now.
Yeah. And so they gave it to us like for the same price as the other. I think it was more expensive too.
It was, yeah,
And it was like jelly
in a cup.
but then it was also sparkling. Like the liquid that it was in was sparkling. So it was like a weird, like alcoholic Jello Sprite situation.
It's like my worst nightmare as far as the drink is
I
concerned.
enjoyed it, but for Charlie, the texture, it was also difficult to drink, even though I don't mind the jelly texture.
It was so bad.
It was difficult to drink because it's sparkling, it's alcoholic, and it's
Yeah.
Jello.
It was
That's a
like
mess.
one of the worst experiences I've ever had, but I pride myself on never being rude at restaurants. Which is why I always try to ask questions about stuff, except for this one time where I was just like, sure, let's just get it, whatever this is. And I drank it with a smile on my face.
How bad could it be?
Pretty bad. Anyway, welcome to This Week in Wrestling. We took 2 weeks off for the holidays because, well, if the people at the office can have it, so can we, damn it. So, yeah, I didn't
We should introduce ourselves.
I know, I'm getting there.
Okay.
I didn't get a 2-week break at work. So
I only got a 1-week break.
I got a week. That was nice.
Yeah, you know what? I'm happy for you guys. But anyway, my name is Charlie. I don't know. I'm in charge in a vague sense around here. Go ahead, Mikey.
He, him pronouns.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I use he, him pronouns. That's what we want to do.
And tell us about your shirt today.
Oh, my shirt of the day. I'll do it chugs. Okay.
Yeah.
My shirt of the day is this great NJPW King of Sports Lion Mark shirt because I'm representing WrestleKingdom today.
Okay, before Mikey continues, I just want to say I am now enamored with the idea of some like old grandma, like how they call all video games Nintendo. They just call all New Japan WrestleKingdom.
Did you watch that?
Are you watching the WrestleKingdom? Mom, it's Dominion.
It's New Beginning and Sapporo. God, get it right.
Go ahead, Mikey.
No, that was delightful. Thank you. I am Mikey Z. I use he, him pronouns. And today I am wearing Chris Brooks by way of Inaskara Mujo, which is death, based on the film House, I believe. There's a lot going on. There's a cat. There's watermelons. There's possessed entities, but it's a red shirt, and you can buy it at Pro Wrestling Tees, provided you don't save your card information.
Yeah, I don't recommend it right now.
Well, here's
as
the
long
problem.
As you don't save your card information, I guess.
Here's the problem. You can buy that on ProWrestlingTees.com. One of my friends got a shirt you can purchase on Shop AEW, which does not have the same problems comparatively.
Allegedly. There have been reports that it does, and Pro Wrestling Tees is hiding it, but
yeah, Justin's right. What is PayPal good for if not just protect your credit card information?
Yeah. Or just like don't, because I think PayPal you can't save it anyway. Like my hot tip is don't save your payment methods if you can get away with it, unless you
Never
absolutely
save.
Yeah, the only ones I have them saved on are like Google and Apple, because like honestly, if that shit gets hacked, it's all over anyway.
Yeah.
Like at that point we're all screwed.
Yeah, it's effed anyway.
So like don't save your credit card information. I don't trust Drive-Thru RPG. I don't trust Pro Wrestling Tees.
Just don't trust it. Go ahead, Vishal.
Yeah. I'm Vishal. Golapali, if you got to use my last name, don't know why you would. I'm probably the only Vishal you know. He, him pronouns. I don't know. I'm really bad at describing myself these days. If you haven't been able to tell, I've been getting more and more just like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing
very
here.
cagey. Vishal's been getting very cagey regarding
haircut.
I did get a new haircut. And this is big streamer mode, Vishal, because I have an actual webcam now, not a 480p laptop camera. That's new.
Well, now we gotta get you a green screen.
Yeah, I also got a capture card for my Nintendo Switch. I'm going real gamer mode.
Yay!
And my shirt is a blue shirt that says Rainmaker in pink on it. I don't think it has anything to do with wrestling, and I'll tell you it doesn't if you ask me.
It's funny though, because I definitely like the pair to that, or like same era, the Man Who Makes It Rain Okada shirt that's like stamped in pink and blue, like the inverse. The shirt's pink and the stamp is blue. That was on some of the programming that Charlie and I watched. And
we watched 16 hours of New Japan Pro Wrestling content over the last 2 days.
They do have a matching towel for that, or they did at one point. They did. I saw it in the audience.
We learned where you could buy some sweet merchandise back in 2017.
New Japan used to have a really sick towel collection in general.
Well, and then Hao Ming used to have all the like foreign wrestlers on a Rakuten global store that has since been shut down for obvious reasons. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm sad about it. You could have got a whole bunch of like very specific
the elite tracksuit.
The elite tracksuit. You could have gotten the Kenny's gear from Dominion 2017. You could have got sweatpants with that logo on it. Like, I don't know what I was doing in 2017, but it couldn't have been more important than that. Like, you could get a flannel shirt with the elite logo on it as a patch, and like the skull like elite thing. I'm beside myself.
Skull skeleton.
I'm beside myself. Anyway,
probably don't need all that shit.
No,
anyway.
We don't need any of that. I'll tell you that much right now. We don't need any of that stuff.
Yeah, we watched G1 special. Where Kenny wins the inaugural IWGP US title. We watched the finale for the G1. We watched New Beginning at Sapporo. And
we watched WrestleKingdom 12.
Yeah, we watched a lot of shit. Like 3 matches from WrestleKingdom 12. A bunch of different interviews because we just mainlined content for shameless plug Match Club, our podcast about wrestling stories, because we're starting that up. It's been over a year, but
yeah,
we'll get there.
We did too. We watched Strong Style Evolved.
Oh yeah,
we watched a whole bunch of stuff.
Honor Rising
over the last couple of days. So
yeah, well, you guys need to get me on the podcast to talk about famed NXT Tag Team American Alpha.
Yes, I know that's your favorite tag team ever, and so we really need to get you in on that revival American Alpha, situation.
Spoiler alert! I do ask at the end of that for people to recommend wrestling feuds, especially ones that are easy to watch. So if you've got a wrestling feud, it doesn't matter like what promotion, as long as it's a good story. Let us know on that.
I did start a bit today where I decided that Baron Corbin was my favorite wrestler. So
Corbingles.
I'm a big fan of this new era of Charlie.
How could you forget Corbingles?
I can't forget Corbingles. Corbingles are made up word from Jackbox. Anyway, we watched a lot of New Japan Pro Wrestling over the last couple of days. So you know what? Why don't we just talk about New Japan Pro Wrestling right now? Because WrestleKingdom is happening.
It's in 2 days.
Yeah.
And also 3 days, because there's a 2-day WrestleKingdom, and then there's another one. I don't remember what date that is, but it's also fairly soon.
It's the 4th, the 5th, and the 8th, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know it's happening. My joke was that I don't know because it seems like there's just not a lot of I am glad for the Show and Yo stands out there.
Yeah, they're getting their singles match.
Yeah, like if those are your favorite guys, it's so weird, especially given that we literally just saw the breakup and aftermath of Roppongi Vice to Roppongi 3K in the stuff that we watched this week. Mm-hmm. There's a match that we watched with Show, Yo, Cheeseburger, now the infamous CB, and the Elite, which was incredible, actually.
So funny. It was the night out. It was in New Year's Dash, and everyone was tired. Like Matt, Nick, and Kenny were all like
everyone was injured.
Were really beat up, and
and Show and Yo were too.
Yeah, so like the story of the match was that everybody just was like too tired and didn't want to fight. So like Nick tried to tag Matt in, and he jumped off the apron, and he's like, no. It was quite funny. So that's a good one if you ever want to just watch something. Mm-hmm. But I don't know, other than the title matches.
I've just pulled up what the card is currently, and it is worth talking about. Like Mikey mentioned, we got the Yo and Show situation. Good for them. I'm happy they're getting their big story at WrestleKingdom.
Yeah, like
I have not been following it, but good for them.
You know what?
And I have no antipathy towards them. It's just like I don't really follow them. I'm not really invested. The House of Torture stuff
I have antipathy towards Show because of House of Torture. And I have apathy towards Yo just because I've never been sold by Chaos as a group. It's just like the guys.
Yeah. It's just Okada. I mean, like when I think about Chaos, I literally just think about Okada.
Yeah.
I mean, when I think about Chaos, it's when it was like when Nakamura was there leading it. That's when it like felt like a thing. Now it's just Okada and a bunch of people who don't hate Okada.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I think everyone should get their day in the sun. Obviously, you know, they've done enough to get over with at least like certain factions of the Japanese audience. I just have antipathy. My antipathy is reserved solely for Dick Togo, because you should not be wrestling and booking to the degree that he is. Like, it's just
get him out of there.
Yeah,
get him out.
Yeah. Also, his booking is not.
His booking is not good.
Yeah,
like it's not good. So everyone have your cake and eat it too situation.
It's like they're looking around the room and it's like, does anyone have an idea of what we should do? Anyone? And Dick Togo sticks his hand up, and because he's literally the only guy, they're like, oh, thank God.
He sticks his hand up and he's like, I should choke out Evil's opponent.
Yeah. It's a rough one, but
yeah.
After that, we've got. So here's the problem with WrestleKingdom. Before I continue, it's that this is a one-night card that they have split into 2 nights by just rehashing matches. So, for example, night 1 has Hiroshi Tanahashi and Taguchi and Rocky Romero versus Kenta, Taiji Ishimori, and El Fantasma.
Oh, so it's a multi-man. It is
a trios match where the entire thing is Tanahashi and Kenta are facing each other on night 2.
Oh, Lord.
It's a road 2 match at this point. Like, it doesn't matter.
Well, and then the frustrating thing with that is, like, you know, so they're booking it like they've been booking the like the weekly shows. Yeah. The ones they air during the daytime, like during the weekdays. So the issue is, like, you know, on night 1, like, it's not even worth watching then, because you're not going to be getting 100% of any of those guys. I'm sure it'll be, you know, a decent performance, but
other Bullet Club people are going to try, and one of them is going to take a fall because you're not watching that for Tanahashi and Kenta. And similarly, the next man after that is also a 6-man tag match between LIJ, Naito, Sonata, and Bushi versus the United Empire, which at this point is just Osprey, Great Okada, and Jeff Cobb, because I think Aaron Henare is MIA. I don't know.
He was in the States last I knew.
Okay,
he was on Strong.
That makes sense.
And I think he might have been on Impact for a bit. I can't remember.
That is another, like, basically a road 2 match, because night 2 we have Sonata versus Great Okan as a singles match, and Naito versus Jeff Cobb also as a singles match.
Why are we doing this?
So the weird thing, for those who don't follow NJPW, usually on Wrestle Kingdom it's one night, and usually like the pre-show, as we would think of it, for like non-pure wrestling, the pre-show or the like first thing before the main show starts is like a Royal Rumble. But I assume that they don't have enough people to do a Rumble.
They're doing that.
Okay.
They're doing the Royal Rumble to determine who's going to challenge for King of Pro Wrestling 2022 on night 2, and it's a fatal 4-way between the final 4 members of that Royal Rumble on night 2 for King of Pro Wrestling. King of Pro Wrestling trophy is essentially their 24/7 championship. It's a joke. It doesn't matter.
Right. No. So the Rumble is on night 1, and then the Fatal 4-Way is on night 2?
Yes.
I think that happened last year,
You said night 2 for both, so I wasn't sure.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
No, it's okay.
Yeah, night 1 is the Rumble. That's the first thing on the card, as always, followed by Yo and Show doing their emo shit.
Yeah.
And then
because I guess they couldn't have... Sorry, I guess they couldn't have people challenge for the Never title, because Jay has that in the U.S. right now.
Jay lost the Never title.
Jay lost it to Ishii.
Yeah,
I was about to say.
Ishii has it.
Yeah,
and they're trying to make it like a legit belt.
Yeah. So after the LIJ United Empire thing on night 1, we have the Shibata versus an unannounced opponent in a catch wrestling rules match, which basically means no strikes, all grapples. It's going to be really technical. I'm going to love it. But also, Shibata literally cannot punch people and cannot take a punch. So there's like some nervousness around the whole thing.
Mm-hmm. Well, who do you think it's going to be?
I don't know. There were some ideas that it might be like one of the young lions that he trained while he was just doing the dojo and nothing else.
Okay.
But I honestly don't know. I've been like staying away because I want to be a little surprised.
Yeah.
It's not going to be Zack Sabre Jr. because he has a match also on night one.
Yeah, and I know like the big question has been when, like, from people that follow that scene really hard, when they'll push the button on Shota Umino, or Shota Umino, was Mox's partner and is currently on excursion in the United Kingdom. But a lot of people say that they don't think that he's ready, or you don't want to debut a hot young lion during a pandemic. So,
and you also don't want to debut him in a catch wrestling style match.
Yeah, that's true. That would be really weird.
I think personally it should be someone like Zack Sabre Jr., someone who you like very much trust to do this technical stuff with Shibata. But I just don't know like who's even on the table, really.
Oh, you know who might be? I don't know what he's currently doing. Davey Boy Smith Jr. was released.
Oh yeah, he was released by WWE.
And he used to work NJPW shows a lot. He was on a tag
I don't think his 90 days are up.
Oh yeah, that's probably right. I think you're right, because all that crew from the last big string of releases. Yeah,
that was the Keith Lee group.
Yeah.
But yeah, after the Shibata match, we have Ishii versus Evil for the Never Championship, which I would be excited for this if Evil wasn't how he is right now.
Yeah. Just like a charisma vacuum. Because Ishii is good, no matter what.
Evil's G1, like I watched the whole G1, we documented this, I watched every goddamn match. Evil was the worst part by far. Chase Owens was able to be more entertaining than Evil.
That's
and Chase
upsetting.
Owens is fucking terrible.
Yeah, that's upsetting.
Then we have Dangerous Tekkers versus Chaos, Goto and Yoshihashi for the tag team championship, which I think the prevailing theory is Goto's finally going to get his Wrestle Kingdom win.
Okay.
Well, he deserves something, doesn't he?
He's going to win this. And also they're going to kind of elevate Zack Sabre, at least, if not Taichi as well. Because after his performance, it feels like single Zack Sabre Jr. is coming.
Yeah.
And then El Desperado versus Hiromu Takahashi for the Junior Heavyweight Championship, also night one.
That should be real good.
Yeah.
It's going to be a banger. And then Shingo versus Okada for the Cody Rhodes belt. But Okada's already holding the one he wants. I don't really get it. That whole thing's weird. But this is a match I would be excited for if we didn't already have the stipulation of whoever wins is facing Will Osprey night 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It meant something last year because of Jay and the circumstances. So of course you wanted Ibushi to fight final boss Jay White, you know, considering what he'd had happened to him. But I'm sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
and at this point, I've talked about
straits.
like the majority of night 2 because so much of night 1 is basically a prelude to night 2. The only matches I haven't talked about are junior heavyweight tag match between Robbie Eagles and Tiger Mask, Taiji Ishimori and El Phantasmo, which is apparently a team called Bullet Club's Cutest Tag Team, which I love.
Yes.
Love that. Love that for them.
I do know
and
that.
Taguchi and Rocky Romero. So again, the teams from that 6-man night 1 are also going to be in this triple threat.
Wild that Taguchi is the man that Kenny took the junior heavyweight championship off of.
You want to hear something even wilder? Taguchi is the guy that Prince Devitt betrayed to start Bullet Club.
Wow. Well, and it's so I'll let you finish, but it's so wild because, like, you know, WWE, we have given a lot of well-deserved shit on this show, but even they don't book this, like, they have enough people to at least slather across a card in 2
don't
nights.
agree with that, considering like how many pay-per-views are just rematches of the last pay-per-view. Roman Reigns fought Kevin Owens like 3 separate times on pay-per-view.
Like looking at like WrestleMania and other 2-night cards, like at least they're not like repeating people is what I mean.
Yeah, for WrestleMania especially, WWE make sure to not have many repeating matches, if any.
Because WrestleKingdom is like NJPW's WrestleMania, and if they don't have enough people to like field a full card on both nights, like, I don't know. Just what are you doing?
I don't know why Wrestle Kingdom is 3 days even this year.
The only thing I can think is that
the
they
third
wanted
day is good.
like they're not making any money off of certain things anymore. So they're just trying to like get as many butts and seats like across the days. Like if you're not available on, Saturday, like Sunday has a card also or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, but also it's Wednesday and Thursday.
It's Wednesday.
Oh, okay, well,
Also,
yeah,
like
it's bizarre.
New Year's Dash has to happen sometime in there.
It hasn't been announced. I think they're going straight to the beginning.
Sorry, that was a live that was my live reaction.
I will double check because I am very often wrong on New Japan things.
Last time we looked, they hadn't announced a New Year's Dash, and you would think they would have to.
No, lots of fun stuff happens.
I know. Also, like New Year's Dash has history.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, it's wild, truly. So what night is the Stardom thing happening then? Because that's happening on a main card.
There is a Stardom match on night 2. It is a tag match between Mayu Iwatani and Starlight Kid versus Tam Nakano and Saya Kamitani.
I mean, like, that's an incredible
it's going to be great.
It's just like...
What? Yeah, it's just like, okay.
There is also a TBA match to open night 2 that we don't know anything about it. It might also be more Stardom because I feel like I remember them saying there were going to be 2 Stardom matches.
Do you think there's going to be like any wild surprises at this WrestleKingdom?
No, I don't think they have the people for it, and I think they've already announced their wild surprise, which is night 3.
Yeah.
And then we have the Fatal 4-Way. We have the House of Torture versus Chaos. Which why? Oh, for the never openweight 6-man tag championship. A title no one cares about. I'm sorry, no one cares about it.
No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. I'm just like sad. Like, if there's really no New Year's Dash this year, I'm just sad about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Then Sonata versus Great Okan, where in backstage presser, Sonata basically said people and wants to give Great Okan a makeover.
Okay.
Which, all right, like, you do you, bud.
Sure.
Naito versus Jeff Cobb, which should be a banger because Jeff Cobb was the MVP of the G1 this year. And Kenta versus Tanahashi is the no disqualification match for the U.S. title. I'm looking forward to this.
I love that tradition is... So it's very funny having watched a bunch of 2017 and 2018 New Japan Pro Wrestling. I love that the US belt has this like very wild background of basically being like the no DQ match belt.
Yeah, Lance Archer just won it in a freaking Texas death match.
After
John Moxley won it from him in a Texas death match. And the first defense of this U.S. title that was like at WrestleKingdom, like I think actually Kenny had a match with Juice Robinson right after he had won it. But the second one was that no DQ match, the first ever no DQ match in the Tokyo Dome between him and Chris Jericho. That was the Alpha and the Omega match. Yeah. So this belt's got a wild ass history. Yeah. And then we have the main event, sadly, which is either Shingo or Okada versus Osprey. I personally want Okada to win the whole thing because I think if New Japan wants stability, they need Okada as champion.
Yes.
But also, I don't think that is a satisfying thing to lead into Okada versus Osprey again when they had a match last Wrestle Kingdom. And the more obvious route is Shingo versus Osprey, with Shingo getting his first win against Osprey ever. Which it is bizarre that they have faced like 4 or 5 times with the same fucking result. Like
I won't be mad if it's Shingo over Osprey, like to finally say no, this is the championship. Like I won't be mad. I'll be like about it, but I won't be mad. Shingo deserves to win. But I agree. Like, if you want to steer the ship back into some direction, like I feel very much deeply in my heart, you bring back the V4 title and you make Okada the champ.
Yeah.
You just press the reset button. Like, just do it. It's there. Like, you did. Like, I personally, but New Japan's been doing wild things, so who the fuck knows? Personally, I don't think you let Okada carry around the V4 championship unless you have an idea, unless you're gonna do it. Like, So like I would say it would be normally under normal circumstances, I would say that's the no-brainer. You give the no-brainer situation is you give Okada that championship back, you make him the champion, and then you give him his match with Ibushi for that belt. That's the no-brainer situation, but they don't fucking listen to me.
Or Okada loses and keeps carrying the V4, and it's just like, this is my championship. Fuck all of you.
I have this. This is mine.
But yeah, we've spent a while talking about this bizarre and dull WrestleKingdom card. The exciting part is night 3, which takes place on the 8th. I think the 8th, or maybe it's the 10th. I don't know. It's the 8th. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
is
confusing.
A New Japan versus Noah invasion match. Not match, like pay-per-view, basically. That is not going to be airing live on New Japan World. You can only get it through like a Japanese pay-per-view, basically.
Yeah.
Or you can wait 2 weeks and it'll show up on New Japan World, which is what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
And I am legitimately excited for this. Like, I need to watch Noah's pay-per-view that took place to open 2021.
Apparently it was really good.
Yeah, I heard it was fantastic. And I don't know. I have never watched Noah before, and I want to see what these guys could do. Because obviously there's a lot of really, really good wrestlers there.
Yeah, it's weird because I think on the website, like, then they have something on Monday the 10th that they're calling Takataichi Mania 3 in Korakuen Hall.
That sounds like a video game.
Yeah, it's also not live. They're calling it pay-per-view live. And then the 20th, they're having New Year's Golden Series. So that's got to be something like New Year's Dash.
Well, something to remember, this is New Japan's 50th anniversary this year.
Yeah.
True, yeah.
I don't know what that means. I know what I want it to mean. I don't know what that means, but I'll go with it.
Yeah, but it's like trying to navigate. Even like I have like a special version of their schedule, and it's like
it's still hard confusing to navigate. Yeah.
So I don't know if New Year's Golden Series is meant to be the same as the January 8th New Japan versus Noah is exclusively on Abima TV.
Order now.
It is asking me to do. I will not do that.
I'm not going to order this now. Thank you, though. Yeah, no, Justin said he watched some Noah matches and it was fun. So, yeah. Like, I'm glad they're doing it. So. Yeah.
Also, I'll be right back. I forgot to plug in my laptop, and I don't want to just disappear like a ghost.
That's fair.
I wonder if they call it New Year's Golden Series in the past.
I don't know
if that's the literal translation. Because then there's two. Sorry, it's just I'm doing this live. There's 2 New Year's Golden Series events, but then this one is VOD. Like VOD only. One is free. And then one is VOD only at like a day later. And then there's another one like a week later that's also VOD only. So I have no idea what's
Got nothing.
It's
Are you plugged in?
Perplexing.
I'm plugged into the Matrix.
Okay. Well, that's good.
A movie I watched for the first time like last week.
Oh my god, really? You'd never seen it before?
Yeah.
I don't think you want to know Vishal's thoughts about the Matrix.
I mean, that's like I wasn't gonna ask. It's definitely. I feel like it's something that,
you had to be there.
Well, no,
yeah, it is of its time.
Yeah, I feel like it's something that you could very easily miss. I was gonna say because of like you were like just on the cusp of like being too young to like see it at someone else's house or something.
Mm-hmm.
But you're like too old to like go seek it out yourself.
Yeah. No, it was basically that. My parents had Matrix Reloaded on DVD at home, but I never watched it because I hadn't seen the first, so why would I watch it?
Right.
That's fair. Yeah, so WrestleKingdom is definitely a thing this year. again, I'm getting like I got even sadder because I watched so much old New Japan content this weekend that I was just like, what if you become my dearest friend?
Crowd still can't cheer.
No,
it's a mess.
And listening to them cheer fills me with joy. Like, and I was like back in the listening to them cheer for like Kenny and Ibushi, like, oh man, like pump that into my veins every day. But yeah, so that's happening. New Japan, like, we'll see what the outcome is. I can only hope that whatever happens here at WrestleKingdom in the beginning of the year translates well, hopefully, into what we can do later on in the year, other places with other people, when things hopefully start to normalize. Because Okada talked today about in Sports Illustrated about how he wants to wrestle Bryan Danielson and CM Punk.
And Orange Cassidy.
And if the best friends in Orange Cassidy came over to New Japan to wrestle, that it would be a lot of fun. That's what he said.
Yeah.
That's what he said. So no, I'm looking forward to hopefully what the year this year of New Japan brings us, if we can finally get the weight of the pandemic off of their back and the booking decisions start getting better. So
speaking of booking decisions, WWE's Day 1 pay-per-view just happened.
Oh god, like, it was something I legit forgot about.
We all did. I think we all did.
Yeah, no, I think the day of, I was like, holy shit, there's a WWE pay-per-view tonight, and we were all just like collectively like, what?
Yeah, Justin in the chat says Orange Cassidy versus Okada is a dream match I didn't know I needed. Yeah, it'd be fun.
Yeah.
But Day 1, man. Woof.
Yeah, there isn't too much to say about it, because quite honestly, the biggest problem with it is that Roman Reigns very unfortunately came down with COVID and was unable to be there. And WWE did what WWE does best, scrambled in like an hour a different way to close the pay-per-view, which involved Brock Lesnar entering and winning what was at one point a singles match between
it's a big
Big E and Seth Rollins, making it a fatal 5-way between Big E, Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, Bobby Lashley, and Brock Lesnar.
Yes.
And just to bring it all home, Brock pinned Big E because we want to make sure that Big E is he has no right to call himself champion.
Yeah.
No.
We couldn't have protected him. We couldn't have pinned someone else. There were 4 other men to choose from in that match to pin, but no, we had to pin. We had to pin the champion.
Even more interestingly, as soon as the match ended, WWE put out a graphic of the results where they interestingly screwed it up and had Brock Lesnar's picture above text that said Big E defeats Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, and Bobby Lashley. Which was never. If that was the original plan, which I didn't think so. I thought that Kevin Owens was going to win it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. WWE also tends to be more conservative with multi-man title matches, where they don't want to screw the champion out of the title. So they either have the champion win or they have the champion get pinned, and it's never like anything else.
It's just so depressing. It's just so depressing. Like, we didn't watch Day 1. I didn't feel compelled to sully my New Year's Day with. Yeah,
I don't have a Peacock subscription anymore. I can't watch it anymore. I mean, I can, but do I want to put in
Vishal
any of that effort?
Vishal is saving $3.99 a month.
I think it's more than that now.
Is it like $5 an hour or whatever?
I think it went up to 10 after a little bit.
Beans. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's all right. Well, maybe you could be getting a Subway sandwich with that with that dollars. Those dollars or a pizza.
All one word, which is copyright. It is, because if you notice, other sub sandwich shops in the US can't use footlong.
Yeah,
all one
it's
word.
12-inch or large.
Which a foot long isn't even 12 inches anymore. It's like 11 and a half.
Yeah.
I didn't realize this was going to pop Charlie so.
It was the nonchalant way you would when you said it.
That's what I strive for. Here.
Woo! Yeah, that's it. Anyway, you save some money by not subscribing to Peacock. We still have Peacock. There are some things that I've watched on it that I'm just like, yeah, and we keep it around for the podcast because if you want to watch old stuff, like there's no other way to do it.
Vishal recommended that we cover DIY and Future Feud on Match Club.
Why would I do? Who's DIY?
He's erased it from. No, this is a Memento situation.
Did somebody or was it a Thanos snap situation?
Man, we just don't know. Vishal, just check your notes, your previous notes you left yourself.
One more day, no more days,
no more DIY. Johnny Gargano.
No more DIY. Yeah.
Who's that?
I don't know.
That's the sad alternate reality we would live in, where we'd ask Vishal about that, and he'd be like, "I don't know what you're talking about." Anyway, we keep it around.
Vishal just has all these plain blank T-shirts in his closet.
Well, I don't want to talk about this anymore. It's sad.
Damn Vishal with that.
Anyway, we keep Peacock around, but we did not feel the need to. Sully a day I had specifically dedicated to Kenny Omega in my household with WWE's bad booking. So, yeah.
For real though, I just hope that Roman Reigns
is
okay, and that he, fights and defeats the COVID-19 in his body. That's all. I wish him no ill will, and it's no fun. So. I just,
I guess I would say WWE did the best they could in a bad situation, but they actually did the worst they could in a bad situation.
And speaking of bad situations, that wasn't the only thing to go wrong, because friggin' Sheamus's English partner, what's his face? Rich Holland broke his goddamn nose.
I think Rich Holland is cursed.
Like at the beginning of so I saw it. Sometimes Reddit puts out really funny comments amidst a slew of garbage, and this was one of them, because it said Rick learned how to break his nose from his mentor twice.
Yes, that's very funny. And does Sheamus still have the thing on his face?
No, he's back to full-nosed Sheamus.
Yeah, and
he won that handicap match, which good for him. Glad he got to do that.
Well, so he's broken. Rich Holland's nose is exploded, basically. And then Drew McIntyre is injured now from a match with Baron with Matt, whoever the hell.
Madcap Moss.
Yeah.
I only remember because Alex Pulowski on Fightful talked about him so much. And the funny thing is, as much as we love some of the personalities on Fightful and stuff, we've stopped even watching recaps. I think we mentioned that last time, because it's sometimes you want to reserve. Life is short, and sometimes you want to reserve your time for people talking about something that they actually enjoy.
Yeah.
That's why the only WWE I'm going to consume for the most part is going to be Botchamania.
Yeah,
when they show up on You Talk Too Much.
Yeah.
Which is funny because I think I tweeted at them because it showed up in a cartoon or something we were watching. That I was like, hey, they should put this in Botchamania. I thought about putting it together as a clip, but then I decided I could use my time off for more fruitful endeavors. But it's wild. And then in other WWE related stuff, Toni Storm worked a bunch of house shows where she jobbed to Charlotte Flair, essentially. It was back and forth, but none of them were of any particular import. And then flew herself home and asked for her release the next day. Yeah.
They called her in to work a house show on a day she wasn't scheduled to, because WWE notoriously doesn't ever plan their cards.
Nope.
Ever.
Yeah. Even for house shows, which theoretically you should be trying to make people happy.
And on the heels of her doing an interview talking about being burned out, sitting in catering and not doing anything, She worked this house show like a professional and then immediately left and asked for her release.
Yeah.
And because WWE's cut like 100 people under the guise of budget cuts, it's very hard for them to justify not giving Toni Storm her release.
Mm-hmm. So good on Toni for doing what you have to have the guts to do, which is like, hey, thanks for calling me in today. If you could look at the email I sent, I just want to know if I need to come in tomorrow. Which like big dick energy. Yeah. Yeah. Good stuff.
I hope she goes somewhere where she is much less frustrated.
Yeah. Whatever that may be, because Lord, that sounds like just a nightmare.
I mean, it always does. I'm just glad people are liberating themselves and not just waiting around to get released. I heard a really sad thing. We have obviously the 3 original members of the Undisputed Era are now all in AEW, and then someone was like, but Roderick Strong, and then someone was like, well, Roddy wasn't an original member of the Undisputed Era, like it was those 3 guys, and then they added Roddy, and then it's like, well, Roddy's in a title unification match this week. I wonder where he's going to be in 3 weeks, maybe released. Yeah. So I don't know what I don't because what do? You either ask, in my opinion, you ask to go in a dignified way that you can control, right? Or you wait around to be released. So I guess what is like what would you prefer? In that, pick your poison at that point. Like, I don't know. I don't see Roddy doing a damn thing after he loses that cruiserweight belt. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. And I think Becky and Liv had apparently a great match with the shitty finish, which is like, so what is the surprise?
That is
there?
big time Bex, yeah.
Yeah, yep, that is it.
Sasha had a match with someone. It was apparently pretty good. I think it was Selena.
Oh, okay.
Maybe it wasn't Selena. Sasha had a match with someone.
Shotzi?
I don't know. She's been teaming with Zelina, but I feel like I saw as many grumpy things at that as I did like celebratory things, so I'm not sure exactly what's going on.
Yeah.
And it's hard for me to distinguish what people are talking about.
Sasha was not there. I'm confused because I saw something about Sasha like on Sunday telling everyone she was okay after like something that looked like she was injured. I assumed it was at day 1, apparently not.
A house show, I guess, maybe?
Yeah, maybe. I saw a lot of stuff from house shows circulating around, so it's really like being so out of the loop. It's really confusing to know what is, especially with such a nothing pay-per-view, in terms of like,
which is supposed to quote unquote set the tone for the year. Well, if this is setting the tone for the year, I think we know what this year is going to be.
You know what the tone is? The Fatal 5-Way WWE Championship main event match of the night was the shortest match on the card at 8.5 minutes after entrances. Yes, 8.5 minutes. As much as we rag on Roman's booking and as much as we rightfully complain about how frustrating it is to basically just see everyone get built up and then job out, he works night in, night out, and he puts on like long matches where he at least tries to give his opponents like hope spots and just prove that they are at least competent at their jobs. Brock Lesnar has never done that. He sells really well when he wants to, and he puts on really good matches when he wants to, but he only wants to do that once every 3 months.
Yeah. The state of what's going on, I don't know. Apparently Brock was at Raw tonight. I don't know what's going on there, so I don't know.
Paul Heyman's back with Brock Lesnar now.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
I find it hilarious that all of the 2020, like, what was it? The Undisputed Era was December in the NXT calendar. And then the 2022 NXT calendar had like 3 of the 4 people on the cover aren't there anymore. And the other one is Io Shirai.
Yeah.
Okay, please be a prophecy. Please be a prophecy.
Yeah, God. I keep talking about Io, I feel like all the time. I just wish she was on something where I could care about. And then isn't there, speaking of NXT, there's like someone that they're hinting at is going back from the main roster at New Year's Evil or something like that. There's something.
Well, AJ Styles has been in and out of NXT recently.
Yeah.
I can't tell if that's AJ Styles pumping into NXT or Grayson Waller getting ready to go up.
I don't know. I don't know if I don't know if I like either of those options, truly. Yeah, I don't know what that's all about.
Don't know, don't care.
Yeah, don't know, don't care. I'm sorry. Like, I don't think this is the case, but if you watch our show because you like WWE content, well, I'm praying for you. One, I'm praying for you, and two, my apologies. I have become
I don't apologize. I spent a very long time apologizing for WWE, and they don't deserve it.
Yep. Okay, you got it.
AJ Styles is confronting Grayson Waller.
Ooh, a confrontation
at New Year's Evil.
Oh, boy.
A confrontation. Okay.
AJ Styles' only ever match in NXT is going to be versus Grayson Waller.
And he's going to he's going to lose.
Yeah. So that's tomorrow. So I guess we'll see people being.
Oh yeah, and then Ciampa will probably lose the. Ciampa will probably lose.
Ciampa's
it.
finally going to lose the title and go to a more coaching kind of position, and then eventually either leave or just not be on screen anymore.
Apparently, we know the name of the unified title.
Hit it with us. Hit it.
Hold on.
I want to know. I want live.
It's going to be the USA Championship.
It is the North American title.
So yeah, no, they are combining the North American Championship with the Cruiserweight Championship.
So they'll just be
the North American Championship.
Yeah.
Okay.
The North American Cruiserweight Champion.
Oh, okay. They sure do care about those cruiserweights.
Yeah.
I mean, if NXT was being run by someone with any sort of talent for booking, this would be a good way of keeping that original NXT flavor in one title seat while putting the big boys on the main NXT championship.
So they say, who will walk out of New Year's Evil as the new NXT North American Cruiserweight Champion?
Okay.
What a mouthful.
What a mouthful.
I like the idea of a work rate title next to the big gold one.
Oh,
but
I just thought of something awful.
Not gonna.
Is it called North American Cruiserweight because in North America, you can have more variability on weight things because people in North America are bigger than the rest of the world? Is that where we're gonna go? I worry. Like, I hate that I think that way, but I'm just like the fact that it's a North American Cruiserweight, I'm just like that.
I mean, that's also not it because it is the North American Championship.
What's the women's match on the card?
The title is called the North American Championship, the one that's being unified.
What's the women's match that's happening tomorrow?
Cora Jade versus Raquel Gonzalez versus Mandy Rose in a triple threat for the title.
But it says who will walk out of New Year's Evil as the new NXT North American Cruiserweight Champion.
Yeah, that's how they unify all their titles. Like when they did the WWE Championship and the World Heavyweight Championship, it was the WWE World Heavyweight Championship.
It's not good. In fact, it's bad.
Yeah, that's very confusing.
Anyway, we don't watch the program anymore.
Yeah, we talk about it for maybe too long, though.
Yeah, we get kind of mired in it. So
it's easy to talk about stuff you don't like. Let me just say, it is.
True.
It's very true.
Which is why we're going to move on to talk about Cody Rhodes.
Oh my God. Yeah, I mean, so New Year, one fear. My fear is Cody Rhodes. Just Cody Rhodes in general.
We watch Cody.
I think he's gotten significantly better. I also hate him.
Okay, so we did a fun compare and contrast. So we've been watching Cody's original heel run from back in New Japan, and we wanted to see what we could say about this Cody run, and if we could find any strings. We could thread.
Okay. I have an angle for you.
Okay.
Literally his own words. his New Japan heel run was him being the Americans in Metal Gear Solid, and his AEW heel run is him being the Americans in America, I guess.
Yeah, but as many people smarter than me have said, that just shows that he doesn't understand. Or that's him continuing to work.
Yeah, like the
like,
one thing I'll say,
trust anything that comes out of his mouth.
And that's it, right? The one thing I will say is I saw a tweet a couple of weeks ago or something that says Cody Rhodes may be the last actual wrestler because I have no idea what's real and what's not real in regards to what he's doing, and it might be because he's a genius. Like, that makes him a genius. And I was just like, well, that word, not gonna use that one. But
genius is strong, but I think that finally, after like a while of me like being frustrated with it, I think he has hit a point where the dislike I feel towards him does feel intentional.
Yeah.
And not as a byproduct of him saying the shit he said about America in the build to that Go-Go match.
Yeah.
So he has a rematch with Sammy. So while on Christmas of all days, Cody won the TNT championship from Sammy, which you can excuse me. You can say what you want to say about Sammy's title reign all you want, but he never really got a chance to shine as much as he could have with that belt, because Sammy's still,
he brought out the stuff, the signs, and it was like 3 months, 5 defenses.
Yeah, like it was almost like he was saying almost that, and because and maybe they're taking it somewhere because I think they should. But Sammy and Santana and Ortiz have been strangled by the continuing of the Inner Circle. Like, not being able to like throw off the vestiges of that has like strangled Sammy was stuck in a feud with America Top Team for months. Which did him no favors after he won that belt. Like, Sammy should have been working, you know what I mean? Like, Sammy is a great wrestler. Like, he should have been showcased.
Yeah.
Like, more than he was.
The problem with when you're put up against American Top Team is, like, none of them are wrestlers. Like, they're not trained in wrestling, so most of the time you're just gonna get the shouting matches that we have been getting. You're not gonna get, like, a wrestling match and an ability to defend unless they, like,
pull someone in.
Yeah, which they haven't been doing because they want, like, for business politics reasons, which is like whatever, but you can't have a champ that's not defending the title. Like, that's how we get into the like what was it, like the Raw Women's Tag Team Championship or whatever with Tamina and Natty.
Yeah,
where they just were either having non-title rematches or just weren't defending the belt, or you had like a number 1 contendership match, and then
I'm a little irritated that Hangman won the belt in the beginning of November and has only wrestled once defending it.
It is annoying. And both of y'all know I am a big stickler for blah 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 prestige of the title, blah blah blah, whatever. Like, and I think that it is important to have like pretty regular defenses.
Yeah.
So Kenny won the belt at Winter is Coming in December.
And he didn't wrestle too much for a while. Yeah, through Revolution.
Well, Kenny had that match with Phoenix on last year's New Year's Smash. I forgot. I don't think I watched that. Okay. That's why. Well, it was. Michelle?
Yeah,
it was on January 6th. It was on January 6th, so I understand if you didn't watch it.
Right.
Yeah.
No, yeah, it was not a day that I was watching AEW. It might have actually been during that stretch when I wasn't watching the show.
I think it might have been because that was when a lot of the interesting stuff was happening with one Adam Cole that I think was more interesting. Hey, Lav.
Oh, hey, Lav. Lav's in the chat. Yeah, no, because I remember that because 1, the match was spectacular, and 2, that was the first time that like Kenny forced the Bucks to throw up the too sweet, like while they were very firmly still babyface at that point.
And like the weird thing is, like, it's not like there's a ton of guys that aren't like the easiest way for me to think of it is like surely Hangman wants to spend time with his family, like that I understand. I don't think it needs to happen on, you know, New Year's Smash or any of that, but we've had like a couple weeks where you could at least have something or announce like a new opponent, something to keep that momentum of that championship going, right? While he was still
it's
like
rough that Danielson faced like 4 members of the Dark Order in the build to his match with Hangman, and Hangman just sat there.
Yeah. Like, and then,
like, that would have been something that would have been a thing where you could have thrown a multi-man in, right?
Or have a pre-tape.
Yeah.
Like if you have a pre-tape, like all you need to say is like, I'm taking some time off after that. Like, I'm tired. I want to be home with my wife. I want to be home with my brand new baby.
But I'm going to fuck you up when I get back.
Right. Or like, you know, we'll come back better, stronger. Like, you know, like there's so many ways you could do that. And we haven't gotten any of that, and it kind of feels like it's stalled. And coupled between that and the Battle of the Belts booking, which is Sammy versus Cody again, and a lot of people are speculating Sammy's going to get the belt back. It gets into that same like prestige of the title, right? Like I learned the one thing that I learned from that wrestling booking sim, that the Journey of Wrestling stuff, is that when you have
that one.
Yeah, when you have title swaps, like that helped me understand some of the like, obviously they're coded into the game in a way that gamifies it, but like when you swap titles, like the way to build your title up is to have long reigns where you have frequent defenses that feel like they matter. When you have like a jobber defense, or when you swap them all the time, like that causes people to lose faith in the titles. And I feel like if you're gonna try to have the TNT championship matter worth a damn, you don't want to be playing hot potato between Sammy and Cody Rhodes.
No. And to go back to Hangman and Bryan, who are both incredible wrestlers, and none of this invalidates anything that happened before, but this stuff between them feels incredibly manufactured. Like, I don't know. Like, it feels manufactured to me, and I'm going to say something that I only realized last week, or maybe even while I was watching Kenny versus Okada, and yeah, you can call me a mark. I don't fucking give a shit. But, I don't think Hangman and Bryan have a lot of chemistry.
No. They don't egg each other on to, like, do bigger and bigger things.
Yeah.
Like, I would honestly say more than Kenny Okada, that's like Kenny and Naito's thing.
Yeah.
Is that every match they like basically like dare each other to do something wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Danielson, he's never been that. Even his match with Kenny, he wasn't doing anything particularly flashy. He was just doing everything extremely well.
Mm-hmm.
But Hangman is at his best when he's like doing something new, when he is like the fiery babyface who just came up with a brand new move.
Yeah. Or like a way to outsmart you. Like,
a brand new transition, a brand new something, just like something that feels like you haven't seen it before. Danielson works because he has like the Kenny Omega predetermined moveset, but he is so good at wrestling that he can transition between all of it and make it look new. Hangman is not Bryan Danielson. I don't think that's an insult to say he's not the greatest wrestler in the world. Like,
no. And like I said, I don't think, I just like I'm desperately hoping they show me something better. You know, on
and it's
on
not
Wednesday.
just like a gimmick.
And it's not just like a gimmick. And do not feed me 60 more minutes of wrestling, or I will kill you.
Well,
I will walk somewhere and kill somebody.
Go forever, but it was and the thing
it's still a 60-minute time limit. They're just going to have judges.
It better be less. I told Mikey this. My I figured out while watching New Japan this weekend what my perfect time amount of match is. 38 minutes.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, and the thing that the thing that you said about like Danielson like not really breaking the count or doing anything interesting in between to keep the match tempo up, or like to kind of transition between,
or like to be the heel, like to be like to do that while being the heel.
Yeah, he was being the heel by taunting the crowd, but he wasn't like going for sucker punches on Hangman. Like when they did the match at Grand Slam, when Danielson was just kind of laid out on the ground in the middle of a commercial break, Kenny like went out and started taunting him like a bunch.
Yeah.
It was great.
It's funny because Kenny literally did the mocking jumping jacks in one of the matches that we watched this weekend, and it really stood out to me like he literally did it because they were both outside the ring and they were like 10 seconds through a 20-second count.
Yeah.
And so Kenny slid in and started doing mocking jumping jacks to then make it counting his opponent out.
Yeah.
And another thing that stuck out to me is like, it's not even like I'm just saying Kenny does that. Like seeing Kenny versus Jay White, where Kenny was the champion and Jay White was the fiery new guy that
had an answer for everything Kenny threw at him.
Had an answer for, and he's kind of a tweener too, because at that point Jay White was part of Chaos, who is a face faction, but he was the evil. Yeah, he just betrayed Kenny. So it's an interesting tweener situation, but Jay did things to like keep the match tempo up and to make you think that, and it was also like it felt like Kenny was going to win the whole time. And similarly with Kenny and Naito, it's just like, it's so interesting because obviously New Japan isn't that right now for a variety of reasons. Like they're just, it's funny because they're almost in the position that AEW was in this time last year, or maybe a little bit after it, where they were like just in subsistence booking, like Cody saying like we were just filming like 8-10 matches a taping period, and we filmed a match that was total dog shit that we just
Sorry, Haven says that Vishal's broadcasting from the very blurry negative zone,
but also the very clear on me zone. Yeah. I'll take the W. You don't want to see my apartment right now. It's a mess.
Like AEW was in such subsistence mode. No, it was like the beginning of last year.
Yeah. Metal Gear Solid,
or like the middle of 2020.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, where it was really like the early pandemic where they were doing no audience shows, and just Cody was like, yeah, there was a match that we recorded that's never going to air because it was total dog shit, but we had to record it anyway because we recorded as many matches as we could just in case we had to go another week, or, you know, someone didn't make a booking or something like that, so we would just have content to air on TV. Like, that was the only thing we were concerned about. And that really feels like where NJPW is at right now. So they can't really do any of these interesting things. But that, all of this to say, like, that's not the place you should be in AEW with your world champion. I don't know. It's just a weird
my
thing.
hot take is Hangman should beat Bryan Danielson under 30 minutes.
And just put it to bed.
And just set it down.
And then, like, you can have a story of Bryan working his way back up. And then eventually, once everything opens up again, work a match with Okada. And it'll be great. Like, I think that's a great match for him.
My hot take now, which is an interesting one because I very much railed against this in the past, is that at this point, I'm not even against Danielson beating Hangman. But again, Hangman needs to go away from the belt for a bit. Like, it's not, they can't have whatever happens this match, their third match has to be in like a year.
It cannot be immediately after. Like, what is that? Like, what is that?
I mean, that's WWE booking is what it is.
Woof. And like, Hangman doesn't deserve that. Like, right? Like, why? Fucking people are jacking off. I'm sorry, I'm going off about this. People are fucking jacking off about how great this is, and I'm just like, I want to like it. I want to like it, but they don't have anything magnetic that brings them together that makes me want to see them beat the shit out of each other. It just isn't there. Like, I want Hangman to get away from this so he can do Hangman things.
Yeah.
I am a little tired of Hangman's inferiority complex.
Me too.
Yeah. Justin says, I think it should be convincing too. Let Danielson get on a high and move on to someone new and fun. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Wow. Hangman versus Danielson becomes the New Day versus Stardust and Goldust Circa 2014-15. God, I hope not. And I think that's the thing that frustrates me so much about this being the first matchup. Obviously, they had to pivot with some stuff, but we don't have a sense of who Hangman is as the champion right now, other than as this guy that Danielson has made his own personal white whale, right? I don't know who Hangman is, even above the inferiority complex. And it really, at that point, it just feels like smacking action figures together, which is, just not what I want. Maybe some people are, dream matches. The reason some dream matches are dream matches is because it's hey, there's something interesting in that pairing, and then we build to it.
These guys have something undeniable that makes them magnetic towards each other, and then we go with that.
I think there should be more tearing pictures in video packages in AEW.
There should be. The one thing I'll
Chris Jericho and Kenny Omega did it. Lance Archer and John Moxley did it.
And burn photos. Do it.
Burn them, rip them. That's how you get heat.
Screw it up. Whatever, man. I watched a lot of wrestling this weekend. You'll have to forgive me. I think there's a lot to be said that, and again, I'm saying this, and I know I'm saying it. When the current drama that's happening between the Elite, Adam Cole, and the Undisputed Era is more interesting than the world title picture story.
Either of the title pictures.
I don't really think that should be
either of the men's titles.
I
at least.
actually don't agree with the thing about the TNT title, just because I think, much like I just said, Cody's hit a sweet spot of this all being deliberate. Just
love that Vishal turned the page on Cody. I love this.
I am interested in watching him now. I still hate his guts, and I'm gonna boo him at every given opportunity.
Fair enough.
And I wish Malachi kicked his head off. And again, I am tired that pretty much every feud he does, he comes out on top. It sucked when he beat Andrade personally.
Yeah. I just my hope is that I hope people are wrong about the Battle of the Belts being Sammy will just take it back.
I think it's going to be Cody does some real dirty shit to Sammy.
Yeah, and that's fine. That's fine.
That is the outcome we should have.
Yeah.
Hit him with the golden shovel. Hit him with don't do the pedigree, do the spine buster. Pretend it's an Arn Anderson when it's really a Triple H.
Yeah, no, I think that's fine. My fear is people being oh, he should get the title off Cody again, and it's okay, then what are we doing? Is it just stuck in this perpetual yo-yo? The one thing that I think I am really happy with right now, I know a lot of people were down on last week's Dynamite,
which I'm not sure why, because I
did not watch it.
I enjoyed it a lot. There was a lot stuffed in there, but there was a lot of storytelling with promos and packages and stuff, which apparently people just dislike, and I don't know why.
Yeah, from what I understand, just the holiday weeks had minimal wrestling and mostly just large matches where people didn't have to work too hard.
Yeah, I didn't mind having an NJPW style multi-man that furthered a storyline thing. I also really liked that we're getting multiple women's feuds, and we're getting a lot of really interesting women's matches and matchups, and we're setting up for the Owen Cup in a really interesting way.
Mercedes. We should mention Mercedes Martinez debuted.
Yeah, that was so cool, and I like that Jade Cargill both has a veteran on her side now, and that we have Mercedes Martinez, who is a literal veteran and star in the women's locker room. I think that's something that's much needed. Like, I don't want to touch on what I'm not the person to talk about what Big Swole said in her tweet, and Tony Khan should just log the fuck off and just have people watching his phone at all times.
My word on that is anyone who tries to draw a line between saying that there's problems with diversity and calling them racist is wrong. They are two completely different things, and Tony Khan should have shut the fuck up a long time ago.
Yeah.
You get people for that. You can pay them money.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. That's all I got. I can't pay people money to tweet.
Like,
I wish I could.
My one thing, and I know a lot of other people have said this too, is it seemed like there was no veteran woman in the women's locker room that had TV experience prior to AEW. Like, there were some indie veterans, but that's...
There was Ruby Soho.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing is, like, I think Mercedes Martinez has been around a lot longer than Ruby Soho, right? Is my understanding, or
I'm not sure.
The same?
I don't actually know, and I know Ruby was like on WWE longer than Mercedes was on proper television.
Well, that's good.
But no, Mercedes is a very good presence to have, and I'm looking forward. Is she like officially all elite? Because I don't remember
she got the graphic.
She got the graphic right after she beat the shit out of Thunder Rosa, which that whole thing should be real good. So yeah. You know, I'm actually, there was a lot of women's presence on this Dynamite. Like, even if it wasn't wrestling, it was a lot of packages, a lot of story stuff. And if you didn't catch it, please go watch the street fight from Rampage between Anna Jay and Tay Conte and the Bunny and Penelope Ford.
Yeah, it actually was incredible. And it's so funny because the first tag match that they had on, I think it was on Dynamite, right? Was kind of like very slow. A lot of people didn't think very much of it. You know, they all looked kind of green. And I think that this street fight is the greatest example of sometimes it's worth having a rematch because you get to see, especially if it has a different stipulation, because sometimes it could be just like things don't cohere. And then you go and, you know, just reconfigure a lot of things, and then you have lightning in a bottle. It's kind of wild. Like, they're not even in the same territory to me. So yeah, it's great getting to see, you know, these women have incredible matches. And like putting them on TV is a good thing. Yeah, sorry. For some reason, I thought like Mercedes had been in the game for a long, long time. So maybe the person that was
20 years, I think it's based.
Yeah, she's been wrestling for a long time, but like televised wrestling is a different beast when WWE runs the whole thing.
Yeah. Justin says Bunny's Crimson Mask is greater than Brit's.
I kind of agree.
There's a lot going on there. Depends on how you like your blood. In my opinion. So
yeah, Bunny is very good at being like a Dead by Daylight
very unhinged type of person,
or BioShock.
Yeah. So she got the splicer mask anyway.
Yeah.
But Wardlow keeps getting pushed closer to the precipice of perhaps turning on MJF. Since you didn't watch Dynamite, I will update you, Vishal. There was a backstage segment with Wardlow, MJF, and Shawn Spears where MJF said, "Oh, did you forget what our contract says?" And basically, if Wardlow wins a #1 contendership spot, because he's an independent contractor, but everything that he earns goes to MJF. You know, he had to do that.
Yeah. Also,
meaning that if he wins a #1 contendership spot for the title, it automatically goes to MJF. Yeah. So that's we've put that out there. So we've gotten that much closer
for it. Yeah.
We've gotten that much closer to that whole thing shattering.
Also, Sean Spears put a like tartan pattern on his chair in tape.
Yeah.
And it is actually incredible that it's mirroring MJF's Burberry pattern.
Yeah. He like put a pattern on the chair. He's now wearing a blazer with nothing under it.
It's actually in a beanie with the
last I
logo.
saw Sean Spears, he one of Wardlow's opponents, he hit him with a chair and then just like vibrated as if, having an orgasm.
Yeah, I would like to also let you know that Sean Spears had a carrot in his blazer pocket and was eating it.
He was just standing on the entrance ramp eating a carrot while Wardlow wrestled.
Yes.
Yeah, Sean Spears just getting fucking weird was the move.
Yeah, agreed. And the Renaissance painting of the night goes to the absolute the fact that AEW is continuing NXT storylines is wild.
Oh yeah, I saw the finish to the Redragon Undisputed Era match. Let's call it.
Let's just call it what it is. Kyle, and so first of all, they had a promo backstage where the Bucks were still kind of salty, and
they said we're not friends with them.
Yeah, and Kyle was like, "Hi Matt, hi Nick." Like
it's good to see you, but that'd be a lie.
But that'd be a lie. Kyle's got his groove back. I'm happy about that.
Oh yeah, and his head is like definitely like he shaved it. He
shaved his hair short again. Like cool, Kyle is out the window.
Yeah, goodbye.
He's making really weird, nasty faces again.
Yeah.
He's also stopped walking like a normal person again.
Well, he's the violent artist,
So Kyle's back to form. So is Red Dragon. Adam seems to be not understanding what's going on.
The great thing happened on BTE today too, which is it's weird to think that it's still Monday. Sorry, it felt like forever today. It was today, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Brain. So Brandon says, "Hey, why are you so like high? Like you can't trust Kyle. Didn't he?"
Didn't you guys have that feud in WWE where
after he betrayed you? And Adam is like, "Shut the fuck up, Brandon. Cut the camera." So they're definitely
there's something going on there.
With it.
Yeah, because Matt and Nick are also trying to tell Adam that Kyle kicked him on purpose.
But that's fucking idiot because Adam betrayed Kyle.
Yeah. Well, what Brandon actually said was like, didn't you guys have that like big blood feud in WWE where you had a 3 stages of hell match and then Adam just like, shut the fuck up, Brandon, cut the camera.
No, sorry, I misstated it.
I really love when Adam flies off the handle. That's maybe one of my favorite things.
Yeah. BT today was just also good in general. There was a fun spot with Adam Cole living in perpetual fear of the Dark Order.
Yeah. That they're gonna come and ruin things.
Ryan Nemeth continues to do the most, and I love it. And he had like a weird commercial and referenced the Wayland Yutani from Alien franchise. It's great.
And -1 stole the Young Bucks shoes and threw them in the toilet.
Good for him.
Yeah, that happened today. It was fun. There's been a lot more story stuff on BTE recently, so because of Adam and all that jazz. But I'm excited for where this is going. I think I know where it's going, but like what I told Mikey and what I think is really important in wrestling is that what you don't get sometimes is that characters that have like consistency, like characters that act like how a character acts, like. For sure, you know how Spider-Man's supposed to act when something happens, right?
Yeah.
Like, in wrestling, sometimes you don't get that, and that's what bothers me a lot, is when the characters are supposed to be something, and then they make them do the complete opposite thing. Like, so I'm happy that I know what Matt and Nick don't like. Like, I know that I'm very confident that I know what that is. Like, I want more wrestling characters with character consistency.
Yeah.
Like, just like, unless you're really planning a big old swerve, which I don't think we need to do that. Just let it go. Like, just let it ride. Like, I can fill in the blanks, and that doesn't ruin my time. Like, I just am happy to see, like, then it becomes like how we get to the place we're going, which is always pretty interesting.
Yeah. So Justin also said Adam's going through it. He's come back from the dead. He's being harassed by his coworkers, and his two polycules are converging.
Mikey made an incredible Our Relationships parody post on Twitter. I also made a very stupid tweet about a day ago now that has gone viral. I apologize in all forms. I tried to plug our podcast and our work here through it.
Charlie didn't realize that you put the things that you want to plug in a reply, not a quote tweet. So I had to.
I'm not famous. I don't know how this works.
But yeah, no, like, the thing is, there's a lot of storylines that I'm really interested in. I'm really interested to see where CM Punk goes from here.
Yeah, because he straight up said that he wanted to get to the world title.
Yeah. Especially after, like, now he got to have the fun Punk match with Sting. So I feel like it feels natural for him to start being meaner and nastier from here on out, and like seeing more of that old Punk surface. So yeah, there's a lot of interesting stuff going on. I just don't, like, I personally, let's say, am not as interested in the two title pictures, or at least the men's title. Women's title stuff, the TBS tournament is actually, I think, going to be super interesting.
I think Ruby's winning. I think Ruby's a lock for it.
I think it could go either way.
Yeah.
I want Ruby to win, not just because she's the face, but like,
yeah.
I think it could go either way, especially now with someone like Mercedes Martinez in Jade's corner.
Yeah, it seems like Ricky Starks might be doing some interesting stuff. He's got the FTW title now, and they're treating it more like a title. And I can't remember what it was, but there was something that he was talking about on Rampage, and he just recently put out a new promo video, I think, on Twitter. That's real interesting. So
Haven just asked, do we think Punk beats MJF and then MJF takes his frustrations out on Wardlow, which leads to Wardlow turning on him? No, I think Wardlow's going to like either win the title or win a number one contendership for the title and turn on MJF when MJF takes it from him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That seems like
they set that up. Yeah.
I think MJF's going to take the title shot from him, and then Wardlow's going to screw him out of the title because he's just so fucking pissed off.
Yeah. I agree. It's a real Batista moment. Like that's what we're kind of building to, like, with Wardlow. So I'm hoping that something fun happens with Wardlow in Cleveland, considering it's his hometown. So like,
that's cool.
Yeah. So give Wardlow something, and give me something, and Mikey something, because they're going there.
Yeah. Give them something.
Yes. So that's really kind of all.
Like, what was it? Like, John Alba was like fantasy booking Wardlow taking a title in fucking Cleveland, and I'm like, I don't think that's going to happen. And now clearly it's not, because MJF has said what's yours is actually mine contractually.
Yeah, that's my fucking belt, Haven says. Okay, now I'm gonna, since I don't really have anything much else to say.
Not much else.
TBS Dynamite officially starts on Wednesday, so we'll see what in the heck is up with all of that.
Remember what channel you gotta watch. It'll be really embarrassing if you watch a shitty TNT movie and then are like, oh no, it's not Dynamite.
Yeah,
The Accountant, and then it just goes into another airing of The Accountant.
For this one's for our West Coast friends. Just remember to tune in 5 to 10 minutes early and watch the last 10 minutes of The Big Bang Theory, which is now the new lead-in for AEW Dynamite. Subject to change. I remember TBS used to have Seinfeld reruns on until about 8 o'clock, which I'm a little sad. It's not the lead-in Dynamite.
Yeah, Seinfeld runs earlier now. Big Bang Theory's taking up the spot.
Justin asks, do you think they're pumping a Statlander feud so that they can open the TBS era with Chris using a Big Bang Theory?
Oh my god. That would be very good if they did.
That was funny.
That sounds
be
just
worth
like
it.
what happened at day one, where they opened it with the Usos theme down since day one-ish.
Oh my
Because
god.
you gotta.
Yeah.
On an actual WWE related note, though, apparently that movie Rumble on Paramount Plus exclusive, starring Roman Reigns and Becky Lynch, is actually pretty good. It's like a monster
Wrestling. It's Monster Wrestling Federation.
Yeah, like monsters.
I'll believe it when I see it,
Monsters,
which is
Inc.
at this point never.
Monsters Inc.
No, it's like similar vibe.
No, just the Monsters Inc. characters are in a wrestling federation. That's someone's fanfic. I'm leaving that alone.
I mean, Sully is probably most like Wardlow at this point, right? Which makes Mike.
Okay, no, we're done.
Mike, MJF.
We're done. We're done. We're done. We're shutting it down. We're done. Anyway, let's do some fun New Year's-esque type of things.
2021's over. We all survived it.
Yeah.
We can now look at 2021 and be like, what was the best and worst stuff that happened? Because there's a lot of stuff that happened.
So give me 3. So, and this is how I'll break it down. I want you each to give me 3. So give me 3 of your worst things that happened in wrestling in 2021 and 3 of the best things that happened. Could be matches, could be moments, could be just in general. We'll go there and then we'll pivot to what we think might happen in 2022. So Vishal, have the floor.
Best things that happened. Jay White versus Kota Ibushi at WrestleKingdom, which was at the start of the year, so they really did a good job keeping that one up top.
Great job, everyone.
What else happened? Dragunov versus Walter at NXT Takeover, the last like genuine, fucking amazing NXT.
I heard
match.
somebody called it the finale of NXT.
Yeah, that sounds right. And Johnny Gargano leaving WWE.
I love this Vishal-centric list. That's going to push me to give you a Charlie-centric list.
Yeah. Damn right.
And then 3 of the worst things that you saw this year.
The ropes breaking from under Finn Balor's legs at Extreme Rules.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now it's Becky Lynch squashing Bianca Belair. That's bottom of the barrel. And the House of Torture.
Yes. Well,
WWE can't have all the downer awards.
No, not at all. Not at all. Now that we've been to the downer zone and the high and the low with Vishal.
Epic highs and lows of professional wrestling.
Yeah. Give me yours, Mikey.
Okay, so I'll start with the worst. So everything to do with the Fiend, and starting with the WrestleMania stuff, where it was just inexplicable and weird, and then
I love how we've all actually a lot of these moments we all experienced together at the same time.
I do want to point out, I'm pretty sure that Alexa versus Randy happened before WrestleMania.
Correct.
Yes.
So Randy with the weird Korean face mask situation, like Randy Orton getting way into K-beauty products. I love that for him. It just wasn't the look that needed to happen on a wrestling programming, or sports entertainment, if you will. So
worth noting, the last thing the Fiend and Randy did not 2 years ago. Now, the last thing they did in 2020 was Randy Orton burned the Fiend alive.
Yeah.
Right. So, everything that happened in 2021 with first the Fiend and then Alexa Bliss and just the way everything was treated, that's my bad moment. But for me, it kind of peaked in badness at WrestleMania, where you had something that could have been super cool and it just wasn't. I'm also gonna say the rope breaking, just because it was that bad. Bianca Belair like sucks for a lot of different reasons.
What? Okay, you said Bianca.
Phrasing.
No, sorry.
What happened to Bianca?
No.
I just want you to be clear. I just want you to be clear.
Like the Bianca Belair moment.
Yeah.
Obviously, I love Bianca. I've said that so many times. But yeah, like that is like, I feel like some of that happens, like they've like retconned that, so like that is bad for me, but it doesn't make my list because of like third factors. But I think my third is actually like the weird ass like Onita street fight where he tried to set someone on fire and like ended up like giving the guy like second and third degree burns.
Yeah,
because it's just like, Onita, please stop.
Not in front of my salad.
Sit the fuck down. Like, we get it. You don't need to one up Jon Moxley. So that's my worst list. My best list is Wrestle Universe bringing an English app and one that is good to navigate and giving you 3 months and Heaven's Sword for free. That was a joke based on Final Fantasy for those.
You can't get in to play Final Fantasy 14 right now. Don't try.
So that, Kenny Omega taking a well-deserved rest, and also the chiropractic videos he so kindly graced us with. And, now I have to think hard about a third one because I feel like I need to have it be
Make it specific.
Really, really good.
Make it specific. We went to something. We did something cool together.
All Out.
Yeah, that one.
Getting to experience Kaze ni Nare live, just all of it. Adam Cole, Bryan Danielson live, getting to see a Kenny Omega match that was clearly inspired by his NJPW matches live. All that was really great. So that's my list.
Great job. Okay. I had time to think about this. So six things, 3 good, 3 bad. So I'll do my worst first. Becky Lynch's mind-boggling heel turn, where WWE said, we fucked up a really good anti-hero babyface before. Let's do it one more time. That one really, really irked me, even if I'm not like, my heart isn't into, the stuff that goes on over there. 2, not the match, but people being stupid about it. The exploding barbed wire death match, which I thought was excellent. And the moment that happened afterward was excellent, and the way they pivoted was excellent. And people only can ever think about like what happened at the end, which none of the performers had any control over. So like, don't. Like, so the internet wrestling community's reaction to that, and having the goal to put it on their worst of lists for 2021, that is my villain origin story. And number 3, probably just the sheer glut of WWE releases this year. That's a real bummer, because that used to just be the place you could go to get a paycheck, like, and you knew you were getting one, like, for however long your contract was, and now that's just not it. So like, seeing people have a dream to go to this place and be at this place and do great things there, and then realizing their dream is basically for naught.
Yeah, well, and then WWE like pivoting from that even to like then try to capture college athletes and get them into a maybe predatory contract.
It looks, like a lot more and more often WWE is turning into seeming like a multi-level marketing scheme. So, yeah, that's it. I think my disillusionment with WWE could fall in there also. as a bummer, because I don't like to be negative about stuff. I like to try and find a silver lining when I can. But unfortunately, this match was really great. Just doesn't do it for me anymore. Like, as far as like watching that program, like, because I know there's nothing afterward. There's no plan afterward or even during. So why should I care? My 3 good things are Adam Cole coming to AEW. Something in January of last year I could have never imagined, and what I had secretly hoped would happen. Lo and behold, it did. We waited to record Match Club so long, we had to reintroduce Adam Cole as a character from the last time we talked about him because he became relevant again, which delighted me on a personal note. 2, being able to finally go back and reflect on Kenny's entire championship run with AEW and realizing like the breadth of everything that he did. Like, it was hard to watch at times because it was very emotional for me, because it was an emotional story. And it hurt a lot sometimes, but it was really phenomenal stuff he did. So he's taking a nap now for as long as he needs, but I will be happy when he comes back. And number 3, this is probably tangential to wrestling, maybe, but like, I don't know, doing this with you guys, that's fun. Oh, yeah, good stuff. Yeah, I like that. I don't know, it makes me feel good inside.
I would like to give an honorable mention of Matt Cardona and GCW.
Yes.
And especially like everything Matt Cardona and Nick Gage have done together, which has just been kind of like electrifying. Because that was really fun, and I got to watch some of that stuff with my good friend MK, and that was a lot of fun. So
Cody Rhodes is just trying to be Matt Cardona.
You know, you're not wrong.
You're not wrong.
He's like a less good version of that.
Do you see what's happening with Rosita's paw in the background? He's reaching for his pom-pom, and you can see
he went from one door to the other too.
It's like right over here.
Yeah, he was at that door, and then we have 2 doors to this room because there's a adjoining bathroom. So
it's very funny. If I can give a little like mention, I will. Matt Jackson, just Matt Jackson as a whole person. Also throwing that out there as one of my best ofs.
You can do a 4th one if you want, Michelle.
Now you can have an honorable mention if you want, Michelle. Negative or positive.
I don't know. Did things happen last year? My mind is Swiss cheese.
I know we made the joke, but Ciampa and Johnny getting to like kind of cap things off by being maybe maybe worth mentioning. I know you were really high on that.
And Finn's NXT,
that was nice.
Finn's NXT championship run.
Yeah, Balor versus Dunn was a really, really, really good match, and I wish Finn got to wrestle more of the NXT UK guys.
Yeah.
All right, so here's some your boldest predictions for 2022. Give me 3 of them, Vishal.
Really bold predictions. I don't know. Gargano going to AEW isn't bold. I'm gonna say Danielson in the G1. I'm gonna say someone somewhat memorable goes from AEW to WWE. And I don't know about a third. I think Hangman's reign is like gonna be shorter than we want it to be.
No, I feel you there. Somebody else had somebody else's top like list of predictions for 2022 basically had the same thing, that they take the belt away from Hangman. I
don't want to keep harping on my disappointment with the current feud, but also I don't know that Hangman as the big champion is like the big money character work.
That's exactly what this person said. yeah, that's exactly what this person said. And I was like, I don't want that to be true. Like, I don't want that to be true. So prove me wrong.
Yeah. So because I want a somewhat original prediction, Roman versus Brock at WrestleMania, the third time it's happened at WrestleMania, is going to be a unification match. And we're going to go back to one fucking world championship.
Oh, wow. Okay. So, like, no more split roster, then? You think it's...
roster split, champion floats. Like, the women's tag champions do.
Yeah.
All right. Give me your boldest predictions, Mikey.
The SmackDown women's roster will increase from 9 people.
Wow. Okay. All right.
Well, they're gonna need the entire NXT roster and like 5 legends to pad out this year's Royal Rumble.
True.
No, but for real, I think I would like to see. I don't know, like, industry wise, I can't think.
Whatever Mikey wants. These are what you want.
Mikey wants some of the non-Japanese national female wrestlers of AEW to show up in Joshi promotions, obviously COVID notwithstanding. But I would love to see Jamie Hayter go do some stuff. I would love to see, Chris Statlander and some of the other people. So that's what Mikey wants. I would like to see Athena, aka Ember Moon, somewhere where she is loved and appreciated for the incredible wrestler that she is. And my dream is her in AEW, but I would just love to see her on anywhere I can watch. And I would love to see Orange Cassidy live out his dream and get to do the Battle of Super Juniors.
I'm disappointed in you.
Why?
I'm disappointed in you for not saying, I'm going to put it in mine, but I'm disappointed in you saying it.
Okay.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
I know what you're going to say, so I have to be the one that, like, represents the middle.
Okay, all right. I don't know how this. I don't know how this.
What do you want me to say? Kenny Omega versus Nick Gage at GCW?
Hey, it could happen. You never know. You never know. Anyway,
he would, the crazy bastard.
He absolutely would.
I mean, I would totally watch that match. Don't get me wrong.
Be great. Let's see. WWE is purchased by another entity. Yeah. Whatever entity that is, I don't know. 2.
Sinclair Broadcasting.
Jesus.
Sorry.
That's just gonna be nauseous. 2. The WWE just basically eliminates anybody who has a prior indie wrestling star potential background. So, like, you will just
rip to Seth Rollins.
I don't believe anyone is safe there. So, sorry. And number 3, I would really like to see the Golden Lovers reunite in some capacity. I don't know what that is. I don't know where that is. I don't know what that is. I think my dream after watching so much New Japan this weekend, COVID permitting, is seeing Kenny back in NJPW.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, I really sincerely do believe that as long as something ridiculously extenuating like COVID doesn't continue to prevent that, I think that's the end game.
Yeah.
So that's why, like, my predictions being Mikey once, it's like, okay, what
so you think it's already on the table? You think it's on the table?
I literally sincerely
do. You think it would have happened already if we hadn't had COVID?
I think we would have gotten, if we hadn't had COVID at all, probably. With things being what they are, like, on the path now. I mean, like, I don't think the let's build a kingdom together stuff was a mistake.
Yeah.
I think, timing is just like you push something out so far and you have to start something else to fill the gap and see that through.
Yeah.
And then, surgery's happening.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it's interesting, but yeah. I think like there can't be any other end game than that. If nothing else, like to just be like in a match together and have that be like similar to Johnny and Ciampa, like to just have something to kind of cap that off.
Yeah.
Like that's something that both those men I think want to have before their careers are over.
Yeah. No more injuries in 2022.
Yeah.
None. Nobody gets injured.
Well,
everybody's fine.
I don't know about that, considering how WWE started their year off, but
whatever. Yeah. So, very much hope everybody gets what everybody wants. That's what I hope. That I hope that Vishal gets Johnny Gargano in AEW. I hope Vishal gets Finn Balor just deciding, hey, I'm fucking done here, and leaves WWE. I wish all my friends get everything they want, unless it conflicts with what I want, and then you can't have it.
Actually, I just realized, like, Battle of Super Juniors might be, like, too low rent for Orange right now, like, literally considering Okada called him out.
Put Orange Cassidy in the G1, cowards.
That, or, like, I mean, what I really want to see is, like, a Blood and Guts, like, Chaos versus Bullet Club, like, War Games style match.
Jesus, has New Japan ever done something in a steel cage?
No. I don't know.
I'm not sure, actually. But I would love to see, like, Rocky, Okada, Ishii, and, like, War Games is 10 on 10, right?
It's 5 on 5?
5 on 5?
Yeah.
Well, that's
10 on 10. Yes, we're big team battling out here.
So if I was booking it, it would be probably, then Rocky would stay out. It would be, I think you have to have Chuck, Orange Cassidy, and Trent, and then Okada and Ishii, right? And then you have the ideal.
This is Mikey's ideal Bullet Club.
Kenny, Adam Cole, the Young Bucks, and I guess you'd have to, like, I think Bobby. Mikey's just not Bobby. I think Kyle is better than Bobby for this kind of thing.
I love this completely like wild ass booking you're doing. I like this energy you're bringing to New Japan in 2022.
Like, obviously that's not who we call Bullet Club.
No, Mikey's just decided.
This is the elite. You just booked the elite.
It's true. But they're calling themselves Bullet Club still. Also, I think it's even funnier because Adam Cole is technically not part of Bullet Club. Like, not only was he formally kicked out by Kenny, but then he was killed. So he's like definitely not part of Bullet Club, but I think they would make it work. And then anyway,
No, this is incredible. I love this energy that you're bringing.
At the okay, then I want a War Games of Chaos versus the Elite, if we're gonna call it, whatever. Chaos, definitely. The Elite versus Bullet Club, like, or like what we're calling the Elite Bullet Club amalgamation, like, is variable.
The soup. We'll call it the soup. All right. That's all I got.
Of course, Justin says you get to go back into Bullet Club if you get brought back from the dead.
Yeah.
It's like you get a second, like it's a new load, right?
What you don't know is when Okada wins everything and brings that V4 title back, he just is gonna walk into a room in New Japan and just hit a reset button to 2017.
Like, let's be honest, even 2022, Okada in a steel cage would be incredible.
Scooby-Dooby-Doo.
God. Swinging from the fucking rafters. Floating the cage up with balloons. Like, anything.
Please.
Balloon Okada, return.
It's like the movie from Up. It's like the movie Up, but instead of the house from Up. It's the steel cage.
Wow.
This is the kind of banana stuff I would book if I could. Like, I'd have Lucha Underground.
If the laws of physics allowed it.
That too.
Yes.
I want. Listen, my favorite wrestling movie of 2021 was Spider-Man: No Way Home. And I will not be taking questions at this time.
Same.
Yeah, that's fair. That's super fair. Big energy out of the Spider-Man movie that we saw last Monday. Anyway, I think that's it because we're just going to continue to go off the rails. We're getting real silly out in here right now. So thank you so much for tuning in. If you watch our VODs, Mikey's going to put our VOD on YouTube right after this. So you can go watch later now.
Do all the exporting.
Yeah, he's going to do all the exporting.
Forget about it.
You're
welcome.
Thank you, Mikey.
Put some Kenny Omega energy.
You're welcome.
Adam Cole energy.
If you like what we do here, Mikey and I have a podcast you might like. It will have a new episode this week. 2.5 remix on the Okada versus Kenny Omega feud. We put a 2.5 in there because we realized there was way too much to actually sandwich into 1/3 final episode.
We should have one title match between Kenny and Okada per episode. And then I'm like, well, technically there's this 4th match and it's not a title match, but it does kind of...
The 3rd match is their G1.
Yeah. It kind of deserves its own episode.
The G1 matches.
Yeah, it is.
Okada was injured.
Yes, he was. He had a big old tape on the back of his neck. I saw Kenny rip it off and do a kiss on it and then throw it away. So that's coming out this week. If you want to listen to it, I recommend. Mikey has really good energy. We recorded together for the first time ever instead of over the computer. So I think we have a really good energy going on there. That'll be out. Please rate and review our podcast on iTunes and Spotify. If you like what we do here, please very much follow our account here at twitch.tv/comicsxfight. It is the new year. I'm planning on pumping a lot of content out. Bashar got a capture card, so I'm just gonna make him play the Switch on the channel for no reason.
Make me play video games. I can play all video games on the channel now.
Yeah, so we're gonna start doing some fun things. Maybe we'll play some games. Maybe we'll
play Disco Elysium, but role play the character as if he was Ciampa.
So we'll be doing more fun things over here aside from talking to you all. But please tell a friend that we do this. You watching now or later is great. We like to talk to you in the chat. It's very fun.
There's a reason we have a follower goal down here.
Yeah. Let us do some cool stuff. You can find us on Twitter at comicsxfight. Like I said, I plan on doing more content this year, so that'll become like a more active Twitter account other than just updating you about stuff. If you like me talking, which I don't know why you would, but if you like it, you can go over to @GeneticGhost on Twitter and follow my tweets that randomly take off for no reason. That's all I got.
At quantum ... I post a lot of pictures of cats, and I will probably start posting non sequiturs from role-playing games more because I'm doing one again, and I'm really excited to be more involved in tabletop role-playing related pursuits, because that has been something where I sorely needed a break but also desperately missed it.
Follow me at Vigola87, but only if you're going to @ me and talk to me about video games. I don't need scrubs.
We need to start
in the effort.
We need to start sharing like our KDAs on Twitter also when we play Halo Infinite.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, we could stream Halo Infinite. That is like a legit thing we could stream, is us playing Halo Infinite.
It's true.
It's Xbox has the built-in streaming.
You can see me get really angry at some teams that are just better than us.
Charlie's gonna have a fancy headset.
Yeah, I have a new headset that I can listen to people on Discord talk at the same time as I can listen to the audio somewhere else. It's wild. I'm excited about it. We haven't tested it yet. I'm gonna go buy some fancy skins, some Catboy skins for my Spartan. I'm gonna get some ears. I have a color scheme I've decided I wanted. After I saw it,
happy for you.
I am. And
you have a bunch of skins for like the vehicles and guns that I unlocked for you in the campaign mode.
Mikey and I are done playing the original Halo trilogy.
Man, the campaign unlocked skins. Now I have to play
that's what the Mjolnir, one of the unlockables is like a Mjolnir armory box. And those unlock different little things. Like you can get some, I don't even know what they look like. One of the color schemes is pretty cool, but there's like mongoose skins and gun skins and stuff that are... plot related. Yeah, Mikey and I finished playing the original Halo trilogy, so we could potentially play ODST here on this channel for you, because that is the game we're playing next in the trilogy. It has nothing wrestling related. Wrestling related. If you don't like wrestling, I don't know why the fuck you're here, but you could be watching us play video games. That's it.
We watch enough wrestling that we just say random wrestling terms in everyday vocabulary, so you'll understand that. I mean, I did spend most of my time, hours spent in Wildermyth last year, role-playing as the Elite. So it's true. I have several campaigns. One campaign was literally like you free a character from these underground cultists, and that character in my Wildermyth game was Adam Cole. So, what's more real than that? Mikey, didn't you make Finn Balor? And what did you? I did, because I had like so many extra characters. I had to like think of vaguely the Bullet Club expanded universe. Yeah, I did have to go into the Bullet Club expanded universe. I even had Cody, but he immediately got lost in a forest and got himself killed. That is classic Cody. Like, I'm not even joking. I'm like, here, let's go here. And he's like, I tripped and fell on a rock and died. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? You lost an arm and it's not even for a cool reason? And then you died? Okay. Yeah, rip Cody. Rip Cody. I think he was like Codith or something. Of course. Anyway, thank you for watching. If you're watching on a later time, either on Twitch or YouTube, subscribe, all that jazz, and goodbye, good night. Bye. Can you hit the button, please, that takes us to the card?